Today, it is time to talk about SOUNHOUND. Welcome to the channel, everyone. Corey here. If it's your first time, be sure to subscribe and tap that bell so you know when I post new videos. And if you want to spread some love, be sure to give me a thumbs up as it greatly helps the channel grow. Today, I want to talk about SOUNHOUND. This is a company based on voice and audio AI, started in California in 2004. In fact, everyone knows what SOUNHOUND is. Back about 15 years ago, a lot of people were walking around with SOUNHOUND on their iPhone trying to figure out what song they were listening to on the radio. In fact, I was one of those people. However, SOUNHOUND is more engaged in different activities now than it was back then. Things are a little bit different in 2024 than they were in 2008 or 2010. SOUNHOUND is a global leader in conversational intelligence and offers voice AI solutions that let businesses offer incredible conversational experiences to their customers. Built on proprietary technology, SOUNHOUND's voice AI delivers best-in-class speed and accuracy in multiple languages to creators across automotive, television, customer service via groundbreaking AI. Some of their products include smart answering, smart ordering, and dynamic interaction, a real-time multimodal customer service interface, along with SOUNHOUND Chat AI, a powerful voice assistant with integrated generative AI. They have billions of processes and interactions every single year. SOUNHOUND powers millions of products and services. They still have the audio recognition app, but they have other applications as well. Something really huge happened to SOUNHOUND in 2024, and that is when NVIDIA invested $3.7 million into SOUNHOUND. SOUNHOUND surged, though, in February of 2024, and I think this speaks volumes for SOUNHOUND because NVIDIA knows they need to have some form of investment in other AI tech, and SOUNHOUND is a very well-known AI for audio and voice recognition. However, the question is SOUNHOUND going to become profitable? Because they're not profitable right now. And is it a stock that you should invest in? In my honest opinion, this next earnings report is going to tell us everything we need to know. However, in my personal opinion, I do believe now is the time to buy. And I will explain that to you guys and show you the chart and why I believe now is the best time to buy SOUNHOUND. Because anyone who bought it back in February paid $7, $8, $9, even $10 for it. The chance of SOUNHOUND falling below $4 and staying there is very low unless they do really poorly on the earnings. However, I don't feel like that's going to be happening. I believe SOUNHOUND is either going to match or beat the EPS expectations and the earnings, and I believe that's going to help the stock price tremendously. I think we're going to be somewhere in the high fours, low fives after the next earnings call, which is coming up in the next week. So let's go ahead and take a look at the financials and the chart for SOUNHOUND and find out why I believe this could be the last chance to get SOUNHOUND right at the price that it's currently at before it goes back up again. Now, I just want to point out that I'm no financial advisor, and this is not financial advice. I'm just giving you guys strategies, teaching you fundamentals, technicals, financials, and how to manage these strategies. It's ultimately up to you to decide which company you invest in and what size of a position for your portfolio that you have and that you want. You can see that SOUNHOUND had very little volume or movement for quite some time. From August 23 all the way to the new year, there is almost nothing going on with this stock until the SEC filing with NVIDIA and their $3.7 million investment. And things started to move up. Going into earnings, people started getting greedy. And then after earnings, it didn't even slow down. It continued all the way up here to $10.52. And then the sell-off began. And it held its own in the $5.56 range for a little while. And then it fell back down to $3.18. And now we're kind of back up in the $4 to $4.50 range, which is the fair value based on multiple analysts. And Zacks gives it a $4.90 price target. So we're not even at the $4.90 price point yet. So technically we're undervalued. And it's a very hard thing to do for a stock to fall below its initial rise on earnings or good news or a good catalyst. And you can see that initial jump right here. This is almost, not quite, but I would almost consider it a fair value gap. For SOUNHOUND to drop below $3.35 is going to take a lot of bad news, like a lot. You can see it tried right here and rejected. Let me show you. The chances of going below this, it's like a psychological thing. No one's going to allow it to go below that price, really. Like as soon as it gets there, everyone's just going to buy it up because they're going to see that. And it's highly unlikely SOUNHOUND's SoundHound's ever going that low again, but look how close we are right now. The 10-day moving average on the 4-hour chart crossed over the 20-day, and 1-hour chart, exact same thing. But on the 1-hour chart, we crossed over the 100-day moving average. We haven't quite done that in the 4-hour chart or the daily. So we are in process of SoundHound going into an uptrend leading up to the earnings. Now is the chance to buy it because SoundHound is going to end up doing one of these numbers leading up into earnings. And we're going to end up here around 625 or 650. So you don't want to miss out down here. Let's go ahead and take a look at earnings and see what's going on with SoundHound. Total revenue has gotten better from 6 million up to 17. Gross profit from 3 million to 13 million. So the gross profit's decent. Everything's decent so far. Operating income negative. Pre-tax income negative. But they went from negative 30 million to negative 16. Operations went from negative 29 million to negative 11. So their year-over-year growth is progressing in the right direction. However, their net income, negative 18 million, but much better than negative 20, 21, 26, 30, or 30.67. So again, still progressing in the right direction. EBITDA is very rough, although negative 27 to negative 11, again, progressing, but needs more work. Just based off of their income statement, they need to make more sales and their operations. They have a lot of operation expenses that are chewing into this. So that is a factor as well. Let's look at my favorite metrics when it comes to financials on a company, and that is cash flow. Cash from operation activities. We can see that cash from operating activities, negative 46 million, all the way up to negative 13 million. So again, they're progressing. Year-over-year growth in the right direction. Cash from investing activities, negative 982 million, negative 58,000. Much, much better. So you can see it's capital expenditures in fixed assets, which is like buying equipment, buildings, land, stuff like that, or expanding upon what they already have. They must have purchased land or a building or some equipment or something. 58,000 is not a lot. Cash from financing activities from 90 million to 13 million. So not as much. We are getting other financing is 12 million, 693,000 from issuance. So 693,000 from retirement of stock. They must have sold shares or investments to gain this $750,000 or almost $750,000, and other financing activities for their 12 million right here. So this 12 million is not from financing or like loans or sale of stock, but free cash flow here is negative 47. Now we're up to negative 13 million. So again, still negative. They're negative on income from operation activities, negative from free cash flow, and they're not profitable. However, year-over-year growth is getting better. And with NVIDIA investing in them, that means that NVIDIA must know something that we don't, which is that the future is going to be better for SoundHound. Look at Warren Buffett when Berkshire Hathaway invested into Amazon in 2019, back when it was like $19 a share. He wasn't investing in them because of what their current value was, because their PE ratio was up and their EPS was down. Warren Buffett invested in Amazon based on the projection of where he figured Amazon was going to be valued at, or they were going to be trading, and he was right. SoundHound is in AI and in voice-driven AI and is going to be integrated in a lot of places. And because NVIDIA invested in them, that shows you that they believe in SoundHound. So based off of the balance sheet, the cash flow, the investment from NVIDIA, the year-over-year growth, as well as what's going on with AI and tech stocks and the way of the future, this might actually be the lowest price you can get SoundHound for ever again. Who knows? I don't know. Maybe not. But I think there's a very good chance you may not ever see SoundHound at $4 again. We may be sitting around 5 years from now when SoundHound is $300 a share, just wishing we bought SoundHound at $4. So it's really hard to tell because nobody can predict the market, but the fact that it's in the AI sector, they've been around for a very long time. So even though they're not profitable, they're increasing their profits year over year. So they're definitely making strides in the right direction. I bet you we're going to be pretty close to zero break even on this upcoming earnings or the next one. And that right there is going to signify significant growth. And NVIDIA knows this. When a big company like NVIDIA NVIDIA or Berkshire Hathaway invest in other smaller companies, that shows that big companies' eyes are on the little guy like SoundHound or Amazon. Not that Amazon's little, but they're no Berkshire Hathaway. So based on the charts, the history, year-over-year growth, the investment from NVIDIA, I highly recommend really looking at SoundHound as a potential last chance to get it at $4. I think we're going to be sitting up around $7 going forward. I realistically think the price going forward after earnings, if we beat or at least meet the estimates, is going to be around $5 or higher. So the chances of getting it this low again is on the lower side if they meet or beat the estimate. If they beat the estimate by a good amount, we're probably looking at $5.56 at the lowest. And the one-year price target is $7.15. You see right here how the EPS is. If we can get a 0.4 or 5 and it's up in this area right here, that is going to be huge. If they can get 0.4 or better or closer to 0 to break even, SoundHound is going to be going up. I think that this is definitely a buy opportunity either way, because the fair value on it by multiple analysts, including Zacks, is $4.90, which it's less than that right now. So even if it's a 1 to 2 or 3 year hold to make some money off of it, it's a good buy at $4. We can see lots of resistance here, more resistance here, here, and here, and a complete bounce off of 332. So it's safe to say that the $4 range right here is pretty much the hard bottom for right now, which is right where it's at. There's not really a whole lot of downside to it. So that's why I would say that right now is the time to buy. And if we do a trend graph right here, you will see that this is looking like a breakout and it's right in time for earnings. I'm going to show you guys how you can get into SoundHound and get paid juicy premium to buy the stock. And not only that, take advantage of implied volatility and IV crush surrounding earnings. Okay, so if you want to get into SoundHound for a juicy premium, we're going to select next Friday, May the 3rd. If you're watching this in the future, the exact same strategy applies, just a different date. We're going to click on sell, click on put. We're going to sell a $4 put on SoundHound for next Friday the 3rd. And we're going to click and go forward here. And we should be able to collect $15 because they trade in 5-cent increments. You most likely won't get 20 unless SoundHound goes down 5 to 10 cents. So we'll see how it plays out, but 15 cents is what you'll get for next week. And you can see review order, $400 collateral you have to put up to collect $15 juicy premium. And as long as SoundHound stays above $3.85, then you are profiting from this because you want to buy these shares anyway. You don't want to miss out. Earnings are coming up, and so this is the perfect opportunity to get in. Thursday, May the 9th is earnings, so this expires before earnings. If you'd like to go out until the Friday, which is the day after earnings on May 10th, you can sell a $4 put for $35 and collect $35 juicy premium. And you know what? If you get assigned and it goes below $4, then your break-even price is actually $3.65. So you cannot lose selling a $4 put, except if the price goes up to like $4.50 and then you don't get into the stock like you wanted at a rock bottom. However, you're getting richer. So there's no need to be upset. You're $35 richer every contract you sell. So if you don't get into the stock, at least you're getting richer on cash, right? That's a good thing. And you could always just buy the stock after that. The other way that you could do this is just buy the stock, sell a covered call. Although SoundHound's pretty volatile. I don't know if I would sell a covered call on SoundHound because you'd end up having to go to $8, $9 minimum in order to profit. And you're not going to be able to sell anything above $5.50 or $6. So selling the puts or buying the shares outright is the way to go. Now, outside of earnings, you could be selling $5 calls every week or two and collecting $15 for every 100 shares, which will help you make money off of SoundHound. After earnings, that's what I would do. But if you buy shares, I wouldn't sell a call unless you want to get assigned and make money. And if that's what you want, buy the shares. So you could buy the shares for $4.27, which is $427. Then sell this covered call for the day after the earnings, collect another $5 to $10, and then if you get assigned at $6, you really made $173 plus $5, $178 to $183 in a week and a half. And you did that on 400. That's almost a 50% return in 2 weeks, 25% return per week. Now, if you buy the shares and you're looking at getting assigned at $6 but want to collect more premium, next week SoundHound's going to go up at least another 40 to 50 cents. So just click on the $6 call and in here input 20 cents and then set it to good to cancel and you'll be good to go. go. As soon as SOUNhound goes up enough next week, or maybe even sooner than that, you'll get filled on your order for $20. And then this way you now make $20 here, and then you make $173 on the sale of the shares. That's $193. That's closer to $200. That's pretty much a 50% return. And since the delta is 14, in order for this to go up exactly what we need, $14, the stock price has to go up $1. You probably get filled just a little bit under that. So SOUNhound will have to be around $5 for you to get filled at 20, which will probably be the case come Tuesday or Wednesday of next week. Buy the shares now and then wait till this gets filled. SOUNhound is in the AI and tech sector, which is the way of the future. It's very strong. Everything is pretty much AI nowadays. ChatGPT, Google's involved with it, AMD, Nvidia, Intel, everybody. Amazon too with their Alexa, Apple, Samsung, pretty much everybody is involved in AI. So in order to flop in the AI industry, you would have to have very poor management skills, poor management team and ownership, bad products. You'd have to pretty much suck at everything you did. And SOUNhound doesn't. And their year-over-year growth shows it. Just because they're not profitable right now doesn't mean they won't be. And the year-over-year growth illustrates this, and Nvidia noticed, which is why Nvidia invested in them. They also have technology that nobody else has, and technology that Nvidia and AMD at some point in the future are probably going to need. I more or less see this as Nvidia's way of trying to get involved with SOUNhound before anyone else does. So you really shouldn't be asking yourself, should I invest in SOUNhound right now? I could lose a little bit of money. What if the stock doesn't go up? What you really should be asking yourself is, could you really afford to lose another chance to jump into an AI that could be a soaring play? If you missed AMD and you missed Nvidia, Netflix, Meta, all these big jumps in the last couple of years, SOUNhound looks to be the next one. Except right now it's only $4. And with that said, the only thing that seems to be stopping the masses from investing heavily is the fact that they're not profitable yet. Thanks so much for being here, guys. I appreciate you. Be sure to subscribe and tap the bell if you enjoyed today's video, and be sure to give me a thumbs up as it greatly helps the channel grow. And remember, guys, until the next upload, let's grow our wealth together. Take care, guys.